Welcome everyone to the Whaleshares Hangout number 8. This is October 23rd, 2018. Every week we join together in the official Whaleshares Discord to discuss all things about the Whaleshares community, the platform, updates, and open it up for questions and answers from the community. And we try to give our feedback as much as we can. We have a lot of the witnesses and dev team members who join us each week in these discussions. And that helps a lot as far as giving us some interactivity with the users and kind of giving you the direction that we're heading with the platform itself. Now for this week, like I said, we don't have any major updates on the platform. You'll find, I think the one little thing that you'll find that could be interesting is when you're creating a post, you'll notice the little emoji happy face is down in the bottom right corner. And clicking on that will open up the little emoji box and let you actually choose from there and drop those into your posts. That's a fun little addition to the create process on making your posts. That's the only noticeable change you'll see in the platform. We always have continuous things happening in the background, improvements, updates. If we hit any little glitches, I know this week a couple of people noticed from time to time where you create a new post and it wasn't showing up in your feed right away. That was corrected this week as well. But nothing major that was released this week. We still have the team working on the whale book, which will be our information repository for everything that has to do with the tokens, user connections to those tokens, how they're using them, and a place of information. It'll replace what we have Whaleshares.info right now, and it'll basically, that information will port over to the whale book when it's completed. So that project is still moving along. We don't have any updates yet on the whale token requirements. I know we spoke about that last week as well. We're still waiting on that group to kind of organize the final thoughts. The reason that that's taking a little bit of time is it will be coordinated with, you hear us talk about the whale tank. So that show, that event will come back soon enough, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and it will be coordinating with the account owners that back those whale tokens. So they're kind of going to go hand in hand. So they're hammering out what they really want the requirements to be for those whale tokens, because we'll have two classifications of tokens, like the official whale tokens, which will kind of have some benefits of kind of sponsoring and promoting in those official channels like the whale tag. And then you'll have the community support tokens, which will still be listed in the whale book, but they'll be kind of like a subcategory. So the smaller tokens and things like that. So those two kind of teams, some of the members overlap, but they're kind of hammering out those details. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll be able to actually make some announcements on what we're doing with that. And with that, I'll hand it over to Krista, and she wants to give some updates on the accounts and all.
Did get put out a couple days ago. Pansko. I can't say his name. I can't say anybody's name. It's horrible. What were you finding exactly to be difficult about it? I guess is what I don't understand. You can go ahead and talk, PowerPics. I can type back to him.
Yeah, I was saying that's actually, that's one of the, I guess one of the best achievements we have for the week, as far as announcing this new account approval process. And like you said, I mean, it takes the load off of you, with one or two people working on that process, and now opens it up to the top 20 witnesses. So now we have 20 people who are able to come in and actually help approve accounts in, which is great.
Yeah, basically you create your own account on the sign up. Like you have to create a username and a password. Or maybe it's an email and a password on the first sheet, and then you go forward and it will take you to the actual sign up. So all you need, you put an intro message in and you have to sign it with your BitShares key, with your BitShares account. And like I said, it's got a video on it, shows you exactly how to do it. Took like not even 5 minutes for me to do it. So if people are having problems, you can still reach out to us. We can try to walk you through it. The reason why we made it more complicated, Crypto Grind, is because at this point it was like basically people just having to come find me. And now nobody has to come into our Discord. Nobody's forced to come into the Discord and try to get help that way. They can just go right on the site, sign up right on the site. It doesn't require them to contact anybody else.
Yeah, and I don't really consider it being a complication of the process. It actually makes a more transparent vetting process to bring people in. Remember, we're trying not to have automated bot accounts being created, people squatting names, things like that. So it actually helps vet the accounts and make sure that in these early days, people who are looking to join the platform are doing so with the intent to use the platform correctly. So not necessarily more complicated, just kind of vets people out better.
Yeah, and like I said, we still will provide support. If you need to ask, maybe once the claim period is over, which will be in a couple days, we can close down both those rooms and kind of hide them, and we can just make, just use the new account room. Maybe I'll purge it and we can just use it for the new system.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say we can definitely open it up and general topic questions. It doesn't have to be about what we're talking about now. Just anything about the platform. Bring up the questions and we'll answer the best we can.
I do know that somebody was asking, sorry, I think it was Blanche, was asking about curation. I've had a lot of people asking me about curation. I don't really exactly even know myself exactly how it works. I've just been kind of still following the 15, 30-minute rule.
Yeah, and people just need to keep in mind that whenever there's hard forks or changes over on Steemit, that does not affect Whaleshares in any way. We've split off and changed the coding on our end to make it different than Steemit, and the changes are not related. So you might see Steemit going one direction with their changes, and we will not have those same changes. We're continuing down our own path.
Oh, I hope that we do get the Whaleshares emojis added. I'm sure that that will be in the making at some point.
CryptoGrind, when it comes to visibility of posts, you have to keep in mind the way the platform is going to evolve. We're still, a month or so out from some big changes that are coming. But, this, look at it, I'm going to say the F word, even though I shouldn't, but look at how Facebook operates. You have a local group of people that are in your friends network. And those are the people who have the visibility of your posts. You're accepting them to be people who are following you and people you're following, etc. And those become your circle of trust, right? That you want to be involved in your posts. And those are people that want to see what you're posting. That's where your networking is going to take place. The platform itself is not there to do the networking for you. It's just like any other normal social media platform or business social platform. You network yourself to bring in the interest to what you're posting about. In long term, like I said, it's family, friends, people with similar interests and groups and things like that. You're going to network yourself to give yourself the visibility, and then the people in your network are the ones who will always be supporting your posts. In time, it's not the wrong model. Steam, it's the wrong model, and we're going to prove that over here in time. So, Steam in itself doesn't promote you either. But over time, you are networking with people you want. You're going to onboard people. You're going to onboard friends, families, and family members, and bring them on to Whaleshares. And then you'll have people who they share posts that they know, and then those share people hit your feed, and then you connect with them and network. It's all about networking and creating your own social circles.
I mean, if people wanted to pay to promote a post, they could go and buy whale tokens and put a whale vote on it. So in a way, we do have a way that people can promote posts. I don't like the promo function on Steemit. I've never even used it. Maybe some people do like it, but I'm not a fan of it. And as far as posts only staying on new for a little while, I curate in new, and I was all the way down to like 4 to 6 hours old when I gave up the other day. So they're there. You might have to scroll down some, but they're there. That's good that they're kind of going down, because that means a lot of people are posting.
Yeah, definitely. And we do need to stop thinking in terms of Steemit, even though that's where this all, it was born from. But our end goal is not to be like Steemit. So even now, how you're seeing new and trending, and it's everybody in these, in time, things will focus on your own personal networks, not the overall platform. You log into Facebook, you don't see everyone, 1.1 billion people on Facebook. You don't see a never ending new feed of all those 1.1 billion people. You're seeing your own feed of people you're connected with, networked with, friends with, things like that. And that's the more direction this is going to come. Hopefully we can get Fuzzy on here. Maybe even next week. We'll try to keep twisting his arm to get him on. I know he's very busy on Tuesdays, but we'll try to get him in to kind of give his vision and an explanation of what his thinking was with this Whaleshares platform that we're actually trying to follow in the path that we're taking. But we do need to kind of break away from thinking of Steemit and making any kind of correlations or connections to the way Steemit works or anything like that. What you see now on the platform is the early days. We made changes to the back-end coding and functionality, and some of it was no delegation, the way the voting thing works, and how it's rewards and shares. Those kind of changes are there, but the front end, yes, it still has similarities because we had to work on the coding changes first, get it going, give you a chance to start posting, and now we're making some of these bigger changes that you'll see roll out. And once that happens, you will no longer say, it's kind of like Steemit, but it's not. You won't even be able to make that relationship anymore. So we need people to stop thinking in terms of Steemit because we're kind of going a completely different direction.
Yeah, nobody's asking you to stay away from Steemit. You can go right ahead and use Steemit. I'm still using it, so you might as well. I mean, I would say you should earn wherever you feel that you can earn, and add value to any community that you want to. Any platform that you want to, more and more will come out, I'm sure. So you do you, nobody here is telling you that one's bad and the other one's good at all.
Yes, Sabo. Hopefully in a month or so, you won't be able to say Whaleshares is anything like Steemit. They'll have their own purposes, their own personality, and their own user experience. But yeah, we do have Masdax.io. So remember, Masdax.io will always be there. We're never going to all of a sudden just start cutting out, Steemit or anything else. Like we're actually going to be adding more platforms to that. And the whole intent of that is to, encourage people to cross post and, get their content out across as many platforms as the content is relevant to. Of course, some platforms that are launching like Smoke and Scorum, they're specifically one towards cannabis, one's towards sports. So like a general blogging post might not work on those platforms, but Masdax.io will give you the option to choose which platforms any specific post you're doing fits, and then go out and publish them, to all the ones where it applies. So we're definitely not trying to close any other platforms out. As new platforms come out, we'll add them to Masdax.
Bob LR or ELR, see, I can talk and read. There is a room in here that is called buy sell WLS. It's not a complicated process. If you're familiar with BitShares, it walks you right through how to do it. And if you find it complicated, again, you can ask anyone really in general to know how to figure it out. Hey, thanks, Woodsy, because I can't talk and type at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. In that buy sell WLS room, I posted all the notes for trading in and out of Whaleshares to the BitShares DEX for your WLS tokens. It's all there, and I also have the link to the customer support over on Rudex, just in case you have any issues. I know I actually need to get back to blockchain. I sent the note over to this morning. I know there's a little bit of a delay the last 24 hours in transferring. I think it was transferring out. I think it was. I think in was okay. Out was kind of slow. So I just need to go back and check Telegram later and just see what his answer was on that. I think they were looking into that, but the gateway itself does work. I think it was just a little bit slowed going out.
Yeah, and they do have a link to a support ticket in there, and it seems like they've been pretty good about getting right to it. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, and I saw the comment that went by. I think it was Cryptogrind. You're writing about whales and an imbalance. If you actually look at the distribution of Whaleshares and how that actually got started, you can actually find accounts now that were, say, users who are not part of the original dev team, who weren't even whales, say, from the share drop coming in from the BitShares share drop. But there's actually new user accounts that over the last month or so of posting have actually built their accounts to be on par with some of the original dev team members. So, I mean, the distribution on the platform is even. There's a high inflation rate as it got started, and that's to allow any member to get out there, get posting, and build their accounts in these early days. So, I mean, the distribution couldn't have been any more fair because it was 100% share drop. It was not an ICO. There's no pay to play. It was just a even share drop out on BitShares holders.
Yep, and anybody had an opportunity to build up their stake before the launch. We did advertise it for months before it even occurred. People were given Whaleshares and told to hold on to them before we even knew. So, people invested in something they believed in. So. Anybody else have any questions or a topic they want to talk about? Like I said, it's pretty laid back and kind of in your hands. It's just to get the community together talking about things.
Hey, Crystal, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's good to see, like, a lot of people who are part of the community over the last year and stuff, were able to kind of come into the platform in these early days. So it's interesting to kind of see how the people who might have been, I guess you say, overlooked over on Steemit and stuff, actually have a bigger involvement here on the Whaleshares platform from the early days. So it's great. It's nice to see. And of course, as the more liquid tokens hit the DEX and we start establishing this fair market value for WLS, it's nice to actually see a value behind what we're all doing.
Yeah, the price has been pretty nice today, for sure. I think earlier today they were trading right around 50 cents. I think it's at about 38 cents right now. Bob L. I can't even say his name. Every time I want to say LCR is what it is. You're too close to it. The liquid Whaleshares, as far as Whaleshares, there's a Whaleshares UIA, and I'm not sure if you're talking about that or WLS. They're two different things. WLS power, does it translate like that, PowerPics, based on a price feed? Because I don't believe that it does at this point.
I missed the question. Are you saying?
We don't have a price feed, right? So the price of
Correct.
WLS is not affecting vote right now.
Right, correct. It's just based on the WS rewards pool itself. There's no price feed involved in that because we don't have the market pegged asset. You don't have that dollar backed token like you have over in Steemit. So all that stuff doesn't apply.
Yes, you would buy it and power up. You can see all that info right there in that room. As far as it says, there are to market on with WLS. Whaleshares is a user issued asset and will not do anything for you in terms of the platform right now. Aside from, I believe you can still buy an instant account for 200 and you can still claim with it for the next 3-ish days.
Okay, now I saw a note go by, I think it was Blanchy, about Rudex. If you want to, I mean, you have to remember Rudex is the same as BitShares, same as OpenLedger. They're all the same BitShares, basically platform itself. They're just different front ends for it. And they just look different. And of course, they have their own proxy tokens, just like you'll find open.btc, you'll find rudex.btc. Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the volume on Rudex, it depends on what the token is. Rudex is just very good about having gateways established for all the graphene chains. So even when it comes down to something like EOS, for example, exchanging out of your main EOS wallet into onto the BitShares DEX, Rudex is the easiest way to do it, but there's no volume in trading EOS. So you'll go from your EOS wallet through the Rudex to get rudex.eos, and then you'll exchange it for open.eos, and then sell that for BitShares. There's a few more steps to it, but they have an easier exchange rate out into the platform itself. So that's really how we focus on them like that. As far as if you wanted to buy WLS on the BitShares DEX, you can buy rudex.wls. Exactly. I think Intelliga just wrote that right. It doesn't matter, which front end of the BitShares DEX you're using. You can buy the rudex.wls token because it's basically a proxy token that then is traded into the Whaleshares platform itself.
Yeah, I mean, you can find the links to the market in that same room. So, I mean, if you have any questions before moving something in or out, then you can go into that room, or again, you can ask anybody in general. For the most part, you will get good information. If something seems not good, then feel free to, ask a mod or myself or PowerPics at any time.
Yeah. And as far as like the proxy token thing, yeah, the decentralized exchange is a little bit different with that, the way it works. But even if, some of the other tokens on different platforms, like you see, even like EOS as an example, EOS only exists on the EOS blockchain itself in an EOS wallet. So if you're over on, what is it, Bitfinex or whatever, whoever else has EOS, those are not actual EOS tokens on those platforms. Those are still one-to-one proxy tokens that they just say that they will honor in exchange for, Bitcoin or whatever you're trading for. but they're not actual EOS tokens on those other centralized exchanges either. So it's all relative to what exchange and what the token is, whether they're legit have an open wallet that they're holding them in, or if they're just a proxy exchange token.
The guys from Rudex sent you what? Oh, they sent you Whaleshares instead of WLS? Basically, Whaleshares were a user-issued asset that you could use to get an upvote from the official Fuzzy account on Steemit. You can still use them in that way. So if you do have some, they're still able to be used in that way.
Nope. Fuzz just mentioned that has been turned off now on Steemit. I need to verify to make sure.
Oh,
but
okay.
he had mentioned that that had now come to an end over on Steemit. So the Whaleshares, the original Whaleshares token themselves, are fully being retired. So I will double check with him to confirm.
Okay, so bad information. We can't edit that out, so that's okay. But so, I mean, at this point, then they should still only be used as far as whaleshares.io. Yeah, to use to create an anonymous account, or you can use them to claim still for the next 3 days. But it only takes one to claim. So now would be a good time to sell them if there's a market for them still. I'm not sure. Anybody else have any questions? You can feel free to get on the mic too. We won't bite.
A related question to the topic, but the front end, like where we log into Whaleshares.io, is there the same thing available for developers where they can make their own login platform to the Whaleshares chain, so to speak?
Well, I mean, technically, yeah, because you have like you see some of the other tools that are happening. How do you say it? Like the Whale D and the Whaleshares.live. They're all working through the APIs that go and actually get the information on the chain and stuff. So yeah, I mean, people will be able to do different front ends in time. I don't think at this minute right now, Alex might be able to confirm if you can or cannot actually do it with the keys, if that access is available or not. Because I'm definitely not a coder on that part of it. So I'm not sure if he's listening to tell us that or not. But in time, yeah, people, just like on Steam and other platforms, people will be able to make their own front end access to the chain. Maybe they'll have it work in a different way, or it could be a mobile app for certain stuff. That will all be possible since it's, it's blockchain and it's open. I think
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think the full open source, I think, on even what we're doing happens once we get to our final state where we want to be, and then that gets opened up.
Basically, you're just establishing the foundations you're going to build on before you let anybody build anything, yeah?
Correct. And then Alex just answered saying, yeah, technically you still can, just with the API right now. Okay, cool.
And then I had a quick question about the whole Whaleshares thing real quick. If you were to sell them right now, what would be a good asking price if you don't know that sort of thing?
Oh, geez. The actual user issued asset Whaleshares right now is selling for, I don't know. Somebody could check in there right now, but I think it was like 0.9 last time I looked at it. If you're talking about the old Whaleshares and not WLS, that's where it gets a little confusing. They're giving you the price for the WLS. I'm telling you the price for the old UIA.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because I have like 13 of them still or whatever, but I've, you know what I mean, I've already can't use them no more now, obviously, so.
So it's crazy enough that Whalebot's like, nope, I'm just giving you WLS price. So you'd have to go to the market and find out.
Oh, I already have them up there. I just put a guess price. I just guessed, but I was just curious on what people actually knew what they were talking about, had to say about it.
You can check on Crypto Fresh too and just see where the asks have been. That's what I do sometimes when I don't know.
Okay, that's good to know for future reference on other stuff too.
Yeah, Crypto Fresh is amazing. If anybody hasn't checked it out, I would highly recommend it. You can look into accounts there. You can look into different assets there. Anything that's on BitShares, you can check out. So Matthew's saying that the last sell price was 0.59 BTS.
Okay, cool. Right on. Thanks, Matthew.
Sorry, somebody's DMing me while I'm trying to do a chat right now. Somebody that knows better, but that's okay.
Yeah, Bob, as far the original Whaleshares tokens, yeah, as those get turned in, those are used either for creating accounts or before they were used for the votes in Steam. And as they were being turned in, they're just being retired. They were never being put back out onto the market.
Okay, Freedom Exist would like me to announce that he has picked a host for his Promote Your Post show on Sunday. And so everybody should tell Breeze congratulations for getting the spot.
Congratulations, Breeze.
We have more and more shows coming. So I'm pretty excited about that. There've been so many members in shows lately. That is just fantastic. So keep them coming, guys.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and if anyone has any more questions about the platform or anything, drop them in now if you want them during the recorded part of the show. And if not, we'll end the recording part and just kind of chill in the after party.
I'm guessing nobody else has anything else. So if you want to stop your recording, you can go ahead and do so. And I'm sure things will perk up a little bit afterwards.
I have a question. Whenever there's lots of comments on a blog, it takes it's kind of hard to view the page on my browser.
So you're saying it takes too much time to load?
Yeah. So it takes too much time to load when there's lots of comments. Is there a way that this can be sorted?
Are you using mobile or okay, so Jamie's saying that I'm guessing he is on a computer. So
it's because of Jamie. That's why I raised this question. He was like complaining about it this afternoon at part of my.
okay, well, we can mention it to the team tomorrow and see if maybe we can find a way to maybe hide some of those comments. I'm not really sure if that's something that they would be willing to implement anytime soon, but definitely we will mention it.
Okay. All right, so I'll wrap up the recording then. Just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Again, this is Whaleshares Hangout on October 23rd, 2018, and we're going to move on to the after party, so we'll catch everyone next week. Thanks, guys.